What a night in Gosford. What a moment in the NRL season. What an eruption of belief, effort, and pure rugby league brilliance from an under-strength Roosters outfit that not only defied expectations but rewrote them. This was not a victory. This was a statement. And the Roosters didn't just beat the Sharks, they humbled them, dismantled them, and sent shockwaves through the league with a 42-16 demolition that no one saw coming. From the opening whistle, the tone was clear. This wasn't a Roosters side daunted by missing stars. This was a team surging with intent, loaded with young blood and hardened by veterans ready to make a point. Daniel Tupou. Electric. 2 identical tries in the first 10 minutes. 2 carbon copy moments of brilliance that left the Sharks shell-shocked and the Gosford crowd roaring. But then came the flick. The kind of flick you don't forget. Tedesco, who else, slicing through the right edge before throwing a no-look, backhanded flick that belonged in slow motion. Hugo Savala was there, right place, right time, right finish. Magic. The Sharks had no answers. Only questions. Why were they chasing shadows? Why did they seem slower, less committed, less composed? Things went from bad to worse when Ronaldo Mulitalo, normally the fire starter for Cronulla, was sin-binned for a high shot on mark Nawaqanitawase. And that was the moment the game tilted decisively. Because Nawaqanitawase didn't just get up, he exploded. He brushed off the hit, marched into the corner, and dived over with the kind of defiance you'd expect from a seasoned Origin winger, not a rugby convert in his rookie campaign. Then came the roar. The kind of eruption that only a debut try can trigger. Xavier Vaa, with only his second touch in the NRL, powered over with sheer force. The kid who had hundreds of supporters in the stands, family, friends, teammates, gave them a memory they'll never forget. Victor Radley. A colossus. On his 150th appearance, he didn't just lead, he dominated. 185 meters, an assist, and a performance that screamed leadership and passion. This was Radley at his intimidating best. But, as always with the Roosters, the nerves weren't far. Around the hour mark, those familiar wobbles crept back. KL Iro and Mulitalo clawed back tries for the Sharks. And for a few tense minutes, Cronulla sniffed a comeback. Yet this time, the Roosters held. They tightened up. They regrouped. They didn't fold. And when they struck back, they did it with class. Tedesco, the skipper, led from the front again. Another try. Another dagger to the Sharks. This was a captain's knock. One built on resilience, experience, and ice-cold execution. And just when you thought the highlights reel was full, Nawaqanitawase went again. This time, from a standing start. A sudden burst of pace. A backhanded flick that Dom Young gleefully finished in the corner. The cherry. The cream. The exclamation point. On the sidelines, Craig Fitzgibbon could only shake his head. Back down to earth with a thud, he admitted. His team was full strength. But their hearts, missing. Their defense, non-existent. Their commitment, questionable. And while the Roosters basked in their surprise triumph, the drama wasn't done. Because up in Bathurst, another shock was unfolding. The Knights. Yes, those Knights. The same team that were ridiculed just last week for a limp, lifeless performance at home. They came out like a different beast, unrecognizable, unstoppable, unforgiving. Lucas was the early hero. A first-half hat-trick, running hard, hitting gaps, tearing Penrith to pieces. He ran for 212 meters, including 65 post-contact. A breakout game that could define his season. But even he was overshadowed. Because Fletcher Sharpe, he was everywhere, 284 meters from 21 carries. 4 line breaks. A fullback performance that had Knights fans daring to believe. With Callan Ponga out, Sharpe stood up and delivered with brilliance. The defending premiers. Smashed. Outrun. Outthought. Outplayed. Harrison Hassett, on debut, scored Penrith's only try, a brief flicker in a long night of frustration. Worse still, young Paul Bryan dislocated his shoulder on his very first touch. The pain was clear. But somehow, he soldiered on for 19 minutes, making 23 tackles and running 27 meters. Courage, even in adversity. Coach Ivan Cleary didn't sugarcoat it. It's the worst start we could find, he said. Confidence was down early and it became a pretty tough night. Penrith now sit at the bottom of the ladder. A brutal come-down for a team so recently dominant. Newcastle coach Adam O'Brien, meanwhile, beamed with pride. I'm so happy for them, he said. One by one, as they came into the sheds, you could just see it, relief, happiness. And he made sure everyone knew, this wasn't about Penrith being understrength. 7 of our best players are out. So I don't want to hear that story. And that's the message from this chaotic, unforgettable night. Don't talk about who wasn't playing. Talk about who was. Talk about Radley. Talk about Tupou. Talk about Tedesco. Talk about Savala, Vaa, and Nawaqanitawase, whose every touch lit up the night. Talk about Sharpe and Lucas and a Knights side that rose from the ashes of humiliation to crush the reigning champs. This round has turned the ladder upside down. It's shaken the premiership predictions. It's left tipsters scratching their heads and fans rubbing their eyes in disbelief. The Roosters and Knights have shown that heart beats hype, that effort eclipses excuses, that in the NRL, no script is safe, and no upset is impossible. And tomorrow we do it all again. Warriors vs Raiders, another potential classic, another chance for rugby league to remind us why we love it. But for now, tonight belongs to the underdogs, to the fighters, to the teams who said, "Not today." And they meant it.